Hello and welcome to the Other 14 FC podcast. I'm Alex, Crystal Palace fan.
And I'm Tom, a West Ham fan.
And this is your podcast for everything not top six. Tired of your team being last on match of the day and not getting the flowers they deserve? Well, that's about change. Tom, what do we have for listeners this week?
Bournemouth's late limbs against the champions. West Ham and Forest win to make the fight for survival interesting. Villa stopped Newcastle from scoring at home, and Fulham edge past Brighton. How you been, mate?
Cool. Yeah, fucking stressful. Not gonna lie. Came home after a long day at work and then found out like the showers leaking down into the neighbours' own bathroom as well. So that's why I'm an hour late to podding than when we usually do. So yeah, probably be able to hear the stress in my voice.
I thought you were just having the longest shit of your life. That's usually why you're late.
It just made a massive hole in the bathroom as well.
Destroyed the bathroom.
Oh, good. How about yourself, man?
I'm all good, man. The Hammers are resurgent, like I've finished watching Attack on Titan. It was absolutely epic. Like, can't recommend it enough. I know I'm late to the party. I did watch it a few years ago, but didn't finish it. But yeah, it's just absolutely class. Transcends anime, I would say, as like a story, as like a show.
I told you about not talking about your hentai fucking dreams on this pod, man. Like, I've told you many a time. Keep that to yourself. In your own little weird subreddits. Not to the public here. Oh, God. Cool. Should we get into it? Because I feel like it's going to be a long one, because it was actually quite an interesting week this week, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's plenty to talk about. Let's go.
Okay, and after 12 hours, we're back. Yeah, I guess no one will be able to tell, but we had a Virgin Media problem during our break, and we've already tried to record 3 times, so now we're back Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. to do it for everyone.
Yeah, after spending an hour on hold with customer service last night, being passed around like loose kebab, I am... If there is one hater of Virgin Media, it is me. If Virgin Media has no haters, I am no longer around.
What are you doing passing around kebabs, mate? Oh, God, let's get into it anyway. Cool. Our third attempt with Bournemouth, Liverpool. Well, we're going to say we've managed to get Tom to not put West Ham at number 1 this week and move it down a little bit to put the best game of the weekend at the top. So yeah, Bournemouth 3, Liverpool 2. Bournemouth once again still the team to watch, just with goals.
Yeah, I've been saying it all season long. I'm not worried about their attack. I know that they can score goals. I think there was a question around Semenyo departing and whether they would still be able to keep up those attacking numbers. I think they showed in this one that they can definitely still do that, but the same old issues that have plagued Bournemouth all season long with their defence did crop up a little bit, but this game all comes down to that final moment, the Adli goal, the Bedlam, the limbs inside the Vitality Stadium, just the absolute moments you dream about with watching this game.
But that's it, yeah. If you're a Bournemouth fan, what are you wanting? Are you wanting more of this? Or are you wanting like just a casual 2-0 win?
I think if I was a Bournemouth fan, I would be desperate for just a nice Saturday afternoon 2-0 win at some point, because I'm sure this is not doing great for the heart rates down on the south coast. Because winning, I swear all of the games that they win this season are like 3-2, 4-3 or something.
A copy of that United one, doesn't it? When they're away, and was that one 3-2 as well? I can't remember. Or was it 4-3?
I think it was 4-4 in the end. That one, wasn't it? Yeah, and they could have won it like 5-4 or something. So yeah, Bournemouth, God knows how your hearts are doing it this season, because if this was West Ham or Palace, I'm sure me and Alex would be on the ropes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just praying for not losing by 2-1. But yeah, I mean, if we run through the goals, Evan Nilsson gets 3rd goal in 3 home games in a row, which, I mean, he's really stepped up. Semenyo's going to have, hasn't he? And I think we were a bit worried early in the season that he wasn't finding the form that we've seen from him before, and maybe he just had a purple patch last season. But yeah, I think he's really flourishing now. Semenyo's gone.
Yeah, I mean, this was a really nice goal. Absolute great ball by Marco Senesi, and then Scott puts pressure on Van Dijk. I know you were a big fan of the defending from Van Dijk as his biggest
Well,
hater.
it's the worst defending I think I've seen this season. Like it's diabolical. If a Palace player did that, I'd be raging. It's just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna think the ball's going out. Oh, someone's coming. I'll just dangle a foot at it. Hopefully it'll go out. It's like it's just that, isn't it? It's so not. And then when the ball goes past him, he's like, ah, should I turn around now? And it's like he turns around slowly. It's like, oh, I'm in real trouble. Still not going to do anything. It's just
I'm I'm sure it's one of those situations where he ends up blaming someone else. It's
yeah,
like, why didn't you give me a shout? It's like, mate, you're like supposed to be the best defender in the world. You should probably see a long ball out for a corner
it's
or a goal
literally
kick even.
it's that simple. It's like he doesn't even make his body big like defenders usually do they? He's just like
No.
yeah, he's just there with his aura. He thinks he's going to stop it. That's what.
I think it's good pressure from Scott.
Yeah, it's great pressure.
Like to keep it up, keep the ball in, and then an easy finish, but an absolute power from Evan Nilsson. And yeah, you're completely right. Like Bournemouth definitely needed someone to step up in that attack, and Evan Nilsson has done so in the last few games, which, given his struggles earlier in the season, Bournemouth fans would be really happy to see.
Yeah, it'd be buzzing, wouldn't you? Because it's one of those things when uh, your main goal scorer leaves, you're just like, who is going to get this now? So to see someone else pick up the form is absolutely great for Bournemouth perspective. Did you see Allison, I think, knock Gomez out as well, and then basically asked VAR to take the goal away?
Desperate, like clinging to anything there.
That was ridiculous. But yeah, that obviously Gomez being off, it was Gomez was off, wasn't it? Being off.
Yeah,
Help. Don't really want to say helps for the second goal, but Liverpool use it as an excuse, won't they? Where Jimenez gets in behind Kirkez, who was made to look a bit silly on his own stomping ground for this goal.
yeah. I mean, I think it's great from Bournemouth to keep going. I think how often do we see the most like frustrating thing when your team kicks the ball out of play because the other team are down to 10 and stuff, and it's probably good sportsmanship, but as fans we kind of hate to see that because it's like it's not like like a Bournemouth player made a really bad tackle and they took a player out of the game kind of thing. It's a situation where the like Liverpool player went off, he's getting treatment, they didn't get the sub in quick enough, so Bournemouth are in their absolute complete right to take advantage of that situation with Liverpool being down to 10 for those minutes. It was a really, really close offside call, but Jimenez gets the luck of the sleeve length or whatever in this one, because there's a few offside calls this weekend that I was like, these look pretty similar, but one's given and others aren't. And yeah, the offside, I've said it before, the offside rule now is just, it's bizarre, to be
It's
honest.
worrying, isn't it, that offside is the one we're complaining. I mean, there's going to be a lot of VAR complaints later on in this episode, but it's worrying. We're complaining about offside decisions, but now is the one thing we're kind of like, well, since the semi-automated came in, we're kind of like, it's making sense, but it just feels like it isn't anymore, is it?
Yeah, that's the thing. It was like, right, with the tech, goal line decisions are great. Offside decisions pretty much were fine. Like they took time. That was the only real issue with them. But like it was generally like, all right, yeah, that's the right decision. But now I think we're getting to it. We're seeing them this season. Obviously, there were Liverpool ones earlier in the season, and it's like, right, but you've not given other ones for the similar situations and stuff. And it's like now we're seeing comparable ones that are onside and offside, and it's just they've just done way too much with the rules. But anyway, Bournemouth, it's not an offside call, so they get away with it even if it was close. And Jimenez megs Allison for his first Bournemouth goal.
Yeah, it was a lovely finish, wasn't it? But yeah, then Bournemouth rocking 2-0 up against Liverpool in the first half. And then, like you see, we see the defensive fragility from Bournemouth a bit with it. With the first one, Van Dijk goal from the corner, making up for his earlier mistake. Do you think Bournemouth could do much to stop that one? I don't. He always just seems to score from corners, I swear.
I don't think they could do much to stop the corner that Van Dijk scores from, but I don't think that Hill needs to head out the previous corner that leads to the one that Van Dijk scores from, because he's the last man sort of thing. Yes, he's sort of being challenged, but there's no one behind him. So if he gets a call to leave it and not head that ball, not get a flick on that ball, so that it goes out for another Liverpool corner that they subsequently score from, which obviously you don't know the outcome, but if he doesn't get a touch on it, then it goes out for a goal kick, and that situation never presents itself. So that would be my only real qualm with that, with the Van Dijk header.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Like, I mean, you're worried then, aren't you? Liverpool getting one back before half time. You think they're going into the dressing room thinking, oh, yeah, we'll be able to get this. And then, yeah, Szoboszlai, the only way I can describe the free kick is kind of swazzes it in because it's got a load of power and dip on it. Don't really think Petric can do much more to stop it going in. If I'm being honest, is that fair enough as well?
Yeah, I don't think the keeper can do too much. I mean, I watched it back this morning, and obviously Salah gets sets the ball in motion, and then it's always like absolutely swazzes it. You're right, like just absolutely fizzes it in. The one thing I would say is Petrovic takes quite a big step to his other side, thinking that Szoboszlai is going to go over the wall or going to go towards Petrovic's right, and he kind of goes the opposite way. And it's quite a bit. If you look at it, it's quite a big step from Petrovic that kind of leaves him absolutely no chance of getting back to that side.
The old Wayne Hennessy shuffle, as they used to call it.
Yeah, you still have nightmares of that Dimitri Payet step.
Took the words out of my mouth, literally. Oh god. But yeah, and I think then if you're a Bournemouth fan, if you're any team outside the top six, when you see a top six side come from 2 goals down with 10 minutes to go, you're thinking one thing, you're thinking we're going to be in the back foot here, we're going to be defending, and yeah, they're going to get the winner. But it's completely the opposite of what happened, really. I think Bournemouth weren't scared in this game to attack, and yeah, they kind of did have to take some Liverpool pressure, but I think they put more pressure on themselves in the last 10 than Liverpool actually did.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the other 14 teams, a lot of teams when playing against a team with the riches of Liverpool and the quality that they have, would go, right, obviously disappointing to lose the 2-0 lead, but a point against the champions is still pretty good. Let's just ride this out for the last 10 minutes. But Bournemouth, under Iraola, have never played that way, and especially not this season. They're either going to win this game 3-2 or they're going to lose it 3-2. And there are chances both end. It's a proper back and forth like basketball match. Whilst we talk about Evanilson stepping up, he probably should have had a second in this one. He has like basically a one-on-one and just drags it wide. Like he's kind of slipping, but you're £50 million striker. You should probably be hoping that he scores that.
Yeah, that's a mad thing, isn't it? Like if it was a few months ago, I'd be like, yeah, that's just the form he's in. But now I'd be expecting him to bury that one into the left, what was it, the right hand corner, but just goes past the post. But I mean, Bournemouth do get their just deserves.
Just desserts.
Too early, mate. It's way too early. But yeah, and then Aldi puts the goal in. No, Adli. I mean, my autocorrect was just kept changing it to Audi when I was typing this out from my notes.
Yeah, it comes from a long throw, chaos in the box, and then yeah, as I said, just bedlam at the Vitality Stadium. It is such a scrappy goal, but like no one will care. Like no one of a Bournemouth persuasion is. You're probably not even really going to remember the goal. It's more just the moment of it all. Like virtually the last kick of the game, scrappy winner that you go on to beat the champions and a needed win for Bournemouth as well.
Yeah, like you say, mate, absolute goddamn limbs. I'm amazed VAR didn't find a reason to not give the goal. When you see something scrappy like that against the top six side, you're always expecting they're going to call it on something. But yeah, I'm so happy that stood for Bournemouth. I mean, not for Palace in the table, but for Bournemouth at least. Did you see the Alisson clawing it off the line for one of the saves? I don't know if there's a camera angle, but it just looked a bit. It looked a bit like glitchy how he got back, how the ball like fizzed back off the line. I don't know if it's because
in the build up to Adli's goal.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because the Premier League ball is pretty much like a balloon now. It's so light that he just had to like pour at the top of it. It like fizzed back. It was one of those where I was like, that doesn't look like a football should be doing that.
Yeah, and I just have to say this is Bournemouth's third victory over Liverpool in their history, which is just pretty incredible. Like absolute day to remember for Bournemouth fans.
100%. I mean, Palace did manage to beat Liverpool 3 times already this season, but what are you going to do?
It's all right. You're going to get relegated, so it's fine.
8 points, mate. 8 points. I'm not scared yet. Cool. Okay. Do you want to move on to West Ham then? I managed
Yeah,
to hold you back for one game at least.
I had to put them second in the rundown, but we really should have started with those mighty West Ham. Like the first half, I came out of half time and was like, I don't remember the last time, one, that we were 3-0 up at half time in a game, and two, that we'd played this well.
It's. I was watching it because it was early kickoff Saturday, and I was watching it on TV. And yeah, I mean that first half, he just kind of blew Sunderland away. It's almost like they just didn't turn up really. I think they had one early chance, which was still a half chance, and then after that, it was just like the Somerville goal. Have to check notes. A Somerville bullet header. Who saw that coming?
Even in the stadium, I was like, how the hell has Somerville scored a header? Like 5'8", rising above everyone, leaping like a salmon and just powering it home. Like, I was honestly, after celebrating, I was like, did Somerville just score a header? Like, did that happen?
It's that it. That was it, wasn't it? And then I've got no qualms with the penalty being given. Like 100% penalty. Bowen puts that away. Probably not too much more to talk about the penalty, but then the Fernandez goal was an absolute screamer. But then again, I'm there looking at Roofs all season, saving everything. I'm there like he's probably not got a chance of this one, but I feel like he's probably had chances like this already before that he's saved in the season when he's had nothing go past him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I think on replay, it doesn't look as good for Roofs because he gets his fingertips to it. I think at the time it was like in real time, it's a really difficult one for him to get over to. Yeah, you could argue it's not like top or bottom corner, so it's like savable height for the keeper, but it is right in like against the post essentially, and Roofs is probably a bit too far on the other side that he's like scrambling over. If he was maybe a step over, then he might have been able to get a hand to it. But take nothing away from Fernandez, that is an absolute like strike, and it really capped off an excellent display from him in this one. He was like the quarterback for most of the game. That this was probably a rare attacking like moment for him in the game. Majority of the game, he was dropping between the two centre backs, playing like fizzing passes, spraying them around to the wings and stuff, and then just also picking up the ball from a deep position and carrying it into the final third sort of thing. With no Paqueta, it was an absolute party, and Fernandez stepped up to be that like midfield creative role that Paqueta thinks he is.
Thinks he is. Brutal, but yeah.
Well, like I've never been too harsh on Lucas Paqueta. I think I've been quite supportive of him over the years, and he's just time and again like disappointed, I would say. Like his output isn't particularly good. He has all the talent in the world, but does not consistently put it together. So often he'll go missing in games. More than often he'll make a really bad mistake, whether it's a red card or a back pass or something that puts us in trouble, thinking he has like too much time on the ball or whatever. And then apparently now he's refusing to train because he's about to go back to Flamengo for 35 million, which we're getting 35 mil for him. I'll absolutely take it at this point. He's 28. He's not been consistent for at least a couple of years. Yes, he has all the off the field stuff. So I've been as understanding as I can, but the team showed that without him in there, we almost look better.
Jesus, you sound like me talking about Beteta, mate. Literally. It's there like someone gives us 35 mil for him right now, I'll 100% take it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, but like, would you not take it? Like in my position, would you not absolutely snap your hand off for 35 mil for Lucas Paqueta?
I don't know, because from what I've seen from him when playing against him, he has been quite good. And I'm not gonna lie, there were times where it seemed like he was your only man making anything happen for Bowen up front, and it was just the two of them linking up. But now Somerville's doing a bit, I guess. But yeah, I think he's just being salty grapes because he wants to leave, mate. That's what it is.
It's really not. It's really not. He has like a couple of really good trademark things, but if you watch him week in, week out, he's probably more frustrating than he is
Yeah,
successful.
he has been a bit more of a liability this season, but I mean that's because you're in in a bad situation, all that stuff's going to get highlighted a bit more, isn't it? Rather than when you're winning most of your games or not basically in the bottom three. But
But he's
yeah,
always had that like head loss in him, like that
yeah,
red card has always been in his body, like waiting to come out. And there was obviously the scandal around him. Like you look at some of those yellow cards, they don't really like they look like the shoe fits kind of thing. Some of them.
everyone's been saying that. You've been defending him for that last since we do this. But there was the one, especially against Palace, where he runs out and just boots the free kick, even though the referee hasn't blown. And it's just
That was the Palace player kicked the ball in that one. Anyway, we're not revisiting ancient history.
bullshit.
Yeah,
Should we get back to the game anyway?
yeah. I think the big thing for Sunderland in this one was that Xhaka was ruled out on the morning of, which was
Yeah,
just absolutely massive for us. Like, I didn't actually realize. I didn't see the news until I was at the stadium, and I was like, that is huge that they've like. I don't want to say that Sunderland are a one-man team, but how important has Xhaka been for Sunderland this season?
100%. Like, I mean, he obviously made his feelings known on the bench. I don't know what was going on there. I don't know if you have any more
Oh
insight.
yeah, he decided to have an argument. He didn't like something some geezer in a flat cap was saying to him. So Xhaka thought he was a big man and was going to take him outside the London Stadium. Like, come on, man, you're a professional footballer who's been paid millions and millions of pounds. Deal with a little bit of grief, unless something too over the line was said, which I'm not in that part of the ground, so.
A West Ham fan saying something that crosses a line. Never had that. Never had any problems at the London Stadium.
Hey mate, Xhaka's soft. Xhaka's soft. He gives it the hard man, but he's actually quite soft.
Mate, this obviously we went away to Sunderland, was it last weekend, and lost. And I, I said to you in that game, like, I didn't think Sunderland were that great, but they did have like good moments to win the game. And then once they took the game away from us, it was it. So I think once they were put under pressure from you and they didn't have a Xhaka to look to, I think that's where they were in trouble because they just seemed a bit lost in that first half after you got the first goal and seemed like the pressure almost got to them. And away from home, when it's a newly promoted team, I'm sometimes like, yeah, the big stadium, like issues happen when they go away, but the Stadium Light's one of the biggest stadiums in the country. So it's just like, it's hard to compute those football cliches to it, isn't it? I think it is as simple as just at home they struggle, and without Xhaka, it really showed today. And I think you got really lucky that Xhaka wasn't in that team because I think if he runs that midfield, you're in a bit more trouble. It doesn't give Fernandez that freedom, does it? And if he's there.
Yeah, we won the midfield battle with like having Fernandez and Souček in there, like big bodies are able to get around. But like you touch on the Sunderland away day struggles, like we mentioned it with Brentford last week, and Sunderland have a slightly better away record than Brentford, but only by a point. And I think we said at the start of the season that their home record was going to keep them up, and it really feels like they've taken that to the extreme almost, that they're like, right, we make the stadium of like a fortress. We'll like our away record, if we pick up a few points, it will be a bonus to what we get at home, sort of thing. And I think they've almost probably, I think you mentioned their performance last week against you, their performance in this one without Xhaka. It might, at times over recent weeks, it might feel that Sunderland feel like they've maybe done enough.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I feel there was another game a couple of weeks ago where it felt like a game too far for them almost, and it's just like...
Well, they had those couple draws against like City, like Tottenham, and then they lost to Brentford. They beat you last week, but kind of barely. Like, it wasn't really...
One, you're right, yeah. I remember because they got battered in that Brentford one, didn't they? It was the one where
Yeah, 3-0.
Yeah, and it was just they're like... You're maybe right on that one. Yeah, like they weren't that great against us. So obviously, once they got the 2 goals and we were completely out of energy and everything, they did take advantage of it because they were on the up. But that's why it was so frustrating last weekend for me, because I felt like if we're fully fit and we had Munoz and Sarr there and our season had been firebombed, we could have had go away with a point at least. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Like, they sit on 33 points now. They probably only need to pick up another couple to be like mathematically safe, to be honest. Like and with 15 games left, they'll definitely pick up more than just a couple. Like, they won't go on that much of a slide. They're too good, and I don't think Xhaka's out for a long time, sort of thing. So they'll be able to like come back from this. But yeah, the only the only real goal that they scored, and the only real sort of moment of like proper attacking quality was when was the Brobby header that they. It was like the rare occasion they were able to pull the West Ham defence out of position, which has been something that has happened all season. Like West Ham defence has been all over the place, but Sunderland weren't able to do that consistently. I think there was a real effort from West Ham defence to maintain their positions. Like, I think the goal comes from like Todibo going running out and Wan-Bissaka being out of position, and so Mukiele, I think it was, gets into that space behind, and then Mavropanos just thinks he should come over, but he's got so much space that he ends up just leaving Brobby with a free header, and it's a bit of like an acrobatic header. But yeah, a weird one. I don't know if you saw this, but there was a crazy sequence at 3-1 where Fernandes hits the crossbar with a shot from outside the box. Mavropanos and Alderete are squaring up on the line. The battle of the two big number 15 centre-backs. Then the ball comes off Souček's back and the ref gives a foul on the goalkeeper, despite the fact that Souček was pushed into him by a Sunderland player.
No, mate, I think that was the right decision not to give that
goal. You watch it back, the Sunderland player literally goes like, pushes Souček into the keeper. Maybe it's like two-handed push.
Maybe I was looking more at Souček's elbow in the keeper that I missed that push, but yeah, I thought that was. But I thought firstly, like them squaring up to each other, that's probably a foul in there somewhere. But it's just complete head loss from the both of them, ain't it?
It's just like, of course it was Mavropanos.
Of course it was. Yeah, nothing going on in his big Mav's head, is there?
Just not caring about anything else that's happening on the pitch. He's just like, yeah, I can have a fight. Fuck yeah.
But imagine if it was 1-1 at that point and that ball goes in the back of the net and he's just...
And they call it, or like he's like offside or something. That would be absolutely fuming.
I would be Mavropanos all over.
It would, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, big win for you there. I mean, we'll talk about Forest next, but what was it, 5 points from safety now? It really seems that QPR game has turned it all around for you. Do you think that win there really did set the scene for having hope in that Tottenham game, then getting a last-minute winner with Callum Wilson and changing the mindset?
Yeah, 100%. I think Jared Bowen come out and said that QPR game has really galvanised the squad and the changing room, and I think more than that being a great performance, because it took extra time to get that winner over QPR, and it wasn't particularly the best. It wasn't the best game. I think more so, it's just the feeling of coming in on a Monday after winning. That was the real changing thing, because it had been such a struggle up to that point. You know, we all have it in our daily lives where we have a rough weekend or whatever and go into work the next on a Monday, or we have a rough week the week before and go into work on a Monday and it's a slog sort of thing. I don't think it's that far-fetched to make comparisons to that being in football, where you go in after draws and defeats throughout the season, and it just makes training that one bit harder, because you just don't necessarily feel like you have the optimism ahead of the week. So like just getting that monkey off their back and being like, all right, we can, like, we won a game on the weekend, let's have some fun in training, let's like be like just breeds that sort of optimism throughout the squad and throughout the training ground. And then that ended up with the Spurs win. That was I think the last minute nature of that Spurs win really amped that up a bit more and led to what was such a good performance in this game, because I think I said last week the Spurs game was great. If you don't follow it up with a win in this one, it would have meant absolutely nothing. And I was texting after this game and as soon as West Ham had won this game, I was like, but you know Forest are going to beat Brentford tomorrow. Like, to everyone, I was like, Forest are going to beat Brentford tomorrow, because that would just be typical. But West Ham still just need to take care of their own business. They need to win the games ahead of them. Mathematically, it's against us that we get out of this. But if all we can do is take care of what's in front of us, win as many games as possible, and hope that some other teams, Crystal Palace, drop points along the way.
Yeah, I mean, you got a bit of a tricky run. You got Chelsea away, then you got Burnley away, and United at home. So those, yeah, I mean, hopefully you for yourselves, you're getting signed in the Burnley game, but you got to worry about the Chelsea away and the inform United at home now. But yeah, we'll see how that all goes. Cool. Should we move on to Brentford Forest then?
Yeah. Cheers, Brentford. Couldn't do me a favour, could you?
Brentford 0, Forest 2. Brentford lose at home for the first time since October, I think it was, which is absolutely mental to think. But yeah, it looked like away Bournemouth playing at home, didn't it? Oh, that's maybe a bit harsh, actually. I think Bournemouth did have a lot of chances in
Stop
the
saying
game.
Bournemouth.
Oh God, no,
Keep
it's too
saying
early.
Bournemouth.
It's actually Bournemouth every single time. I did, didn't I?
Apart from the first time, you said Brentford first, and then you switched it up to Bournemouth for
Bournemouth.
some reason.
God damn, what? It's too early. That's going to be my excuse for all the shit I talk, even though I talk shit every week. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I want to say it seemed like the Brentford away from home playing at home, but Brentford had a lot of chances in this game. They just couldn't put the ball into the back of the net, which, I mean, Thiago's been doing with his eyes closed the rest of the season.
I was so Super Sunday. I had the Newcastle Villa game on the TV and Brentford Forest on the laptop, and I was watching this going, and another day Brentford win this game by 3 or 4. Like the amount of chances that they created, they just did not have their shooting boots on. It felt like one of those games that they could have been playing for 100 hours and they wouldn't have scored, but they would have been just basically camped around Forest box throughout the game, just going like peppering shots, not coming off, hitting the woodwork, etc. It's just so typical
It's
that
not typical
as like
Dyche game. Like,
oh, it was absolute peak Dyche ball. This like it was unbelievably peak Dyche ball.
I know I always bring up the momentum graphs, and I know you don't like them, but the momentum graph for this is hilarious because even when Forest score, what is it, Brentford is still having momentum on their side. That'd be more like symbolic of a Dyche game right there. It's like, yeah, we'll just take the pressure, and we'll get the goals on the break or whatnot. I mean,
Yeah,
the
I mean it's
second
peak
one,
Dyche ball. Like you just defend with every bit of your body, and then have some counter attack goals and ride your luck at times. Like that, as I say, like Brentford could have had 2, 3 in this game.
I mean, we say luck, but I mean, there's a lovely bit of skill from Igor Jesus for the first goal to take it down, swivel and put it past Kelleher and go.
Oh,
Like,
there's some great work from Ola Aina before that to keep that move going because
yeah, true.
like at like 4 different times it looked like he should have been tackled and lost the ball, but he kept coming out with it. And then yeah, you're right, unbelievable finish from Jesus.
Yeah, I think Forest getting players back from AFCON as well, like Sangara back in midfield for them is going to be very handy. And I wish it'd been a bit longer because we've got them next weekend and we could really do a win in that game. But
I
yeah,
could really do with you winning. Oh, I don't know, draw.
yeah. But I mean, Brentford had. I started my notes with Brentford had a few chances, and then it's like Ouattara misses a one-on-one. They hit the bar. Vandenberg hits past the post, which should be going in. Thiago puts one past the post as well, and yeah, it's just like countless
Yarmo
chances.
Leok had that deflected cross that almost goes in. Like Sells made sure it didn't, but like it was just like I say riding their luck for Forest at times. Obviously, it's a good defensive display, but like I think they're aware that they kind of got away with one here.
Yeah, they got away with one, but then another insane moment of class from Iwanini for uh, it's an unbelievable striker's goal. That's what I could say. To have the power to take the ball, go past one with a bit of trickery, send Coyote for a complete hot dog, and then putting it through the keeper. Like that's exactly what Forest fans want to be seeing from him. I feel like they were seeing that from him about 2 seasons ago, before his injury. And if he starts putting him in, then Forest and relegation isn't going to be a thing, really, is it?
Yeah, I mean, I was really happy for Awoniyi in this to get that goal. He looked like someone who just really needed that, just like to sort of just feel confident as a player again. It's a absolutely wonderful run, showing composure, strength, skill. The finish is really nice as well. Like it's just it had everything. Yeah, it seems like Forest are going to bring in another striker before the end of the transfer window. You would hope that that wouldn't block chances for Awoniyi to play himself back into form because you're right. Back when he was that first sort of season or two that he was signed, he was really good, and then he had that really bad injury, and he's been just trying, seeming like he's been trying to come back from that ever since, and hopefully this goal spurs him on to do so. But if 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 Forest do get another player, another striker in, he probably is third in the pecking order, given Jesus also scored a wonderful goal in this one, seemingly first choice for or him, but yeah, it seems like they're after Lorenzo Luca from Napoli.
Yeah, and Mateta as well. Or is
And
it?
Mateta.
Yeah, talking to my forest mate at work, it's like heard the Mateta news from Ornstein, and I was like, yeah, but it's also been reported that he's agreed terms with Villa and Juve. Like it feels like a bit of an agency, like mess around. But I was also there like, if you pay 35 mil for him, I'll be pretty happy because I've talked about it week in, week out. His knee's gone. He's going to go to that medical and they're going to be like, no, you can't buy this player. Like, but if we can get 35 mil and get Strand Larson in for 40 odd mil, I'd be over the moon. But I mean, my forest mate was pretty keen on having Mateta in, so fair to him. But it's also there, like he's saying, could it just be Marinakis playing games before we play him on the weekend? Like, could he be putting that bid in just to mind games without so Mateta doesn't play or something like that?
He took that banner really to heart, and he's just going to try like put in loads of bid. He's going to bid for Henderson. He's going to bid for Will Hughes just to really upset you.
Well, they put another weird bid in for, was it Jose Sarr yesterday? And I was just like, is that mind games for Wolves? They don't need to play mind games for Wolves. It was like, the cell's that old.
Playing mind games with Wolves right now feels like a very harsh thing to do.
Just that was a bit of an odd one to me. But yeah, if it is mind games, it'll be ridiculous. But I'm dreading my trip to the City Ground next weekend. Like, I do like going to Nottingham, I like going to Hooters with my mum and my best mate. So that's going to be an experience. But
Yeah, I mean, it's a massive win for Forest. This,
yeah,
like, obviously with West Ham picking up 3 points on the weekend, Forest had they probably felt more pressure than they would going into an away game at Brentford than they probably would have thought so, given West Ham had 1-2 on the bounce sort of thing. But Forest if you a 3 game snapshot are in good form as well, having beaten us and then got a draw against Arsenal and then beating Brentford. Like it's a pretty good 3 game spell for Forest.
yeah.
There's like a gap closing. It's still a big enough gap that I'm still not confident that West Ham get out of it, but it feels more interesting now than it did a week ago.
Yeah, I think for you, it's who do you get? And with Forest's next 3 games
Crystal
being,
Palace.
with Forest's next 3 games being Palace, Leeds, and Wolves, you've got to think
Ooh.
they're getting quite a few points there. Like if they beat us, then they're on level points with us, and probably, let's be honest, they'll still be level on points with Spurs as well. Mate, you could catch Spurs at all honesty, because
Oh,
Spurs.
if Spurs can go down, this is the best thing for everyone involved. Then I can stop being a dick to all these other teams in the relegation rival with us because I think we all want Spurs to go down.
Well, mate, Spurs' next 4 games.
Oh,
Um,
they're tough.
City, United. Well, City at home, United away, Newcastle at home, Arsenal at home, Fulham away, and then Palace, and then Liverpool. So apart from Palace,
Relegation.
they got a load of tough games in there. So flipping hell, I didn't realise that was coming for them. Mate, might be talking about them next season.
You got any more to say on Forest's big win
Uh,
at Brentford?
nah, I'm just like I said, dreading my day out there next Sunday. We really need to not lose that game, but we will because they'll get the first goal and I shall grind it out, or we'll collapse, one of the two. But yeah, cool. Let's move on to a game I've been looking forward to talking about all weekend. Fulham 2, Brighton 1.
The Wonder Goal game.
The wonder goal game. What was it? My Palace mate Calvin, was picking the game apart afterwards. He was like, I've eaten well today. They've had a disallowed goal. They've lost in the last minute. It's like, couldn't be better. And sorry, Brian fans, my slander's going to get worse over the next couple of weekends with
Hey,
the derby
the
coming up.
last time I saw Calvin, he was in a Brighton shirt, so I don't think he should be shouting too loud.
Love it. Shots fired. Absolutely. That was just on a Tuesday. It wasn't a stag do or anything. He was just wearing it for fun.
Yeah, it's just around Thornton Heath.
Just felt. Oh, man's catching strays. But yeah, it was an interesting game to be fair. Like, I think Brighton probably walk away a bit annoyed that the game's not wrapped up with within what was it with the Danny Welbeck second goal is disallowed. But Iari scores a bit of a stunner to get the game, start the game off, doesn't he?
Yeah, I've got the same note for 2 players. One of them you'll absolutely get, the later one, the one that we've been saying all season long. But this one is the same note for Ayari. Doesn't score bad goals, this lad. Like, he doesn't score bad goals, Ayari.
Yeah, well, watch him score the scrappiest one seen to man when we go down in a couple of weeks' time. Fucking
Um, uh, Yeah, no, blast it through Leno's fingertips. Maybe keeper can do slightly better, but it is absolute powerhouse through him. So
It's power, isn't it? Maybe I'm being maybe I was a bit harsh to moves, but then giving Leno the benefit of the doubt. But maybe the
I think
camera
there's more
angle.
power on this Ayari one than the Fernandez one. Fernandez was a bit further out, bit more placed than the Ayari's one. He's absolutely levered this a bit more. So I think it would have been really strong fingertips from Leno if he would have managed to claw that out.
Yeah, I think if you're Fulham as well, you're annoyed from the Iwobi mistake that kind of just sets up the goal for them, doesn't it, as well? So that's one. I mean, we haven't seen too many mistakes from Fulham this year, it feels like, and they've been in that good patch of form. But yeah, but Brighton should probably make it 2-0 with a goal line clearance from Castagna. I mean, I feel like Brighton probably should have taken the game away from Bournemouth early in this. But
Yeah, I mean the Brighton attack was pulling Fulham's defence apart at points in this game. Like there were so many occasions where it was like 3-on-2 for Brighton. Like they had the overload in attack. Fulham defenders were kind of being pulled out of position, sort of thing. Both teams had plenty of joy with balls over the top as well. It was most of the highlights were like, right, someone's unleashed a long ball and everyone's running back towards their goal. The attacker's got it and he's running in behind, kind of thing. And then Chukwueze gets an equaliser. They're happy he's back from AFCON because he was sort of coming into a bit of form before it, and they looked like they needed him because that was a really, really nice goal from a really tight angle.
yeah, man, it was a really cool finish from as well, set up from a Joachim Anderson ball. Was used to seeing at Palace all the time. When he gets those right, it is like Beckenbauer at the back of those balls. It's insane. So yeah, I mean, cool finish from Chukwueze. Then Brighton go down the other end, have a disallowed goal after celebrating.
Yeah, I bet you liked that one, didn't you?
Chef kiss there. Yeah, I'm getting it all in now because I'm going to be getting my receipts. I mean, I don't know any Brighton fans, but I'll be getting my receipts at the stadium in a couple of weeks' time. So I'm getting it now. But yeah, I mean, at the end of it, both teams are going for it. It is a bit of a basketball game. And
With
then,
that Welbeck one, that was like the other one that I was kind of referring to. There was like it's millimeters offside, and I don't know if if the visual we get is the actual like frame that they use to judge it as offside, because it's
100%
like we're talking about like an inch of sleeve at this point.
no, 100% offside, daylight, mate. Don't know what you're on about. Miles offside. Could fit a bus in between him and the defender. But yeah, no, it was a bit of a. It's one of those where if it's going down to that, you don't really want it. It's not football anymore, is it? It's just a bit like.
Well, it brings about the Arsene Wenger rule change where he's like, if the body is in line with the defender, then he's onside.
But the thing is, you change those rules, attackers or defenders are just going to find different ways to cheat, not cheat the rule, but find like loopholes and bits in the rule. It's what everyone's taking advantage. That's what I'm looking for.
We'll still find, yeah, there'll still be moments where we are spending too long looking at a VAR check to be like, right, is there any gap between the player and the defender and the attacker? It's just maybe that'll happen less, or at least at first I think it will happen less. Well, until players get used to it, and then strikers will start to push the bounds a little bit. They'll be just like dragging a toe, so that looks like they're onside, sort of thing. So we'll see if that rule comes into play. So, but I mean, as a not a Brighton hater, Brighton fans must have been absolutely gutted, because I agree. I think they should have probably taken this one away from Fulham at times.
Yeah, I mean, let's not go too much into offside, but I think the biggest problem I even touched on is, are they knowing when to pause the frame from the ball being kicked? Like, let's not pick at that scab. Let's move on to the Harry Wilson free kick. And yeah, Harry Wilson, my boy, this season, he's doing bits there. But do you think for that Veruca geezer should have done a bit better in goal?
Verbruggen, yeah, no, keeper should definitely do better for this. I mean, it is so far out that I think the keeper just absolutely has to do better. He also does get to it, so it's like it's similar to the Leno, similar in a way to the Leno one where the keeper gets a hand on it, and similar to the Roofs one as well. But this one, I think Verbruggen should do better. But take about Harry Wilson, absolute Wilson doesn't score bad goals, does he? I was thinking when that one went in, and I was like starting to get an early think about our team of the season. I'm like, Harry Wilson's probably like first name on my list, to be honest. Like, he's the first person that comes to mind that I'm like, what a season he's had. Without putting too much thought into it, I was like, yeah, Harry Wilson has had so many moments this season that he's going to be hard to ignore.
It'd be impossible for him to ignore him. But yeah, watch him get a move in a transfer window now. Completely ruin our team
Yeah, he's going to go to Liverpool before the end of the window, for fuck's sake.
Cool. Okay, I think that's everything we need on that game. Just Fulham have shot up the table now to 7th. They found that form really. So yeah, I mean
that's crazy. Fulham are 7th. Like, what were they, like 16th, like 5 weeks ago or whatever?
What was it when we got that last minute winner against them? Was it just after Christmas or just before?
Just before, I think, like 16th of December or something like that, like mid December.
We were talking about relegation, and now possibly talking about Europe. It's crazy, ain't it?
That's a mad run.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, then on to Newcastle Villa. Was that the late? It was a late kickoff on Sunday. No, it was 2 o'clock.
No, it was 2 o'clock.
Yeah. But yeah, I probably didn't see this one coming, if I'm being honest. I don't think it was the most exciting game for periods. Let me know if I'm wrong, because you were watching this one live, weren't you? I was a Palace journal, so
yeah, it was a good game. It started on fire. Tonali almost scored a sensational dribble inside 40 seconds, and it was like, right, this might be like one of those very similar to a lot of Newcastle games this season, especially at home, where they're like, right, we're just going to go punch for punch with you. And it on another day, it wouldn't have surprised me if this game ended like 4-3, like we've seen Newcastle games at home this season, like the Leeds one. But it kind of, after that early scare, Villa kind of got a grip on the game for at least sort of 20, 30 minutes. They were just the much, much better team. They really took control of the ball in midfield. Newcastle maybe got, the passion of St James's Park spurs them on so often. I think every now and then it can almost be a bit too much for them, be a bit too much for the players, and they maybe lose a little bit of composure. And obviously they didn't have Bruno Guimaraes in this game, who's absolutely like captain fantastic for them, like midfield maestro. Maybe without him in midfield, Tonali and Joe Linton have got red mist in their eyes. Like Joe Linton, probably lucky just to see a yellow on a challenge on Onana in this one. It's probably like an orange card kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I know I'm skipping ahead because I know that comes after the Buendia goal, but just sort of touching on Newcastle, they come into the game more, and they had chances and they had possession, but they didn't quite often look like they were going to beat Martinez. So you don't often see Newcastle not score at home, but this was a frustrating afternoon for them, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Martinez does have quite a few big saves in it, and I think he was up to his usual time-wasting antics in it as well. That was proper rattling.
He was doing that from like the 30th minute. Yeah. As soon as Buendia scored, essentially, it was like, cool, yep, I can play my usual game.
But he did that every time he's been to Palace these last few seasons. He does it before they've even scored, and it's just like, it's mad. Because then we get the goal and he's rushing, and it's like, you've made the rod for your own back. He's also gone off at half time in the last 2 away Palace games, which is even weirder, but whatever. Yeah, let's talk about the Buendia goal, because yet again, Villa have another goal of the season contender.
Well, when you score 13 goals from outside the box, some of them are going to be goal of the season contenders. That's 2 clear of Bournemouth, who have got 11. And yeah, Buendia just absolutely sweeps it over Pope. It's one of those weird ones because of where it is. Like, he's outside the right side of the centre, right side of the penalty area. It comes to him, and it's not like it's top corner, but it's the angle of the ball and the way that it proper loops and swerves in the air, sort of thing, that it kind of like, it really dips over Pope more than it's like belted into the top corner or whatever. Like, it's just the angle of the ball, the distance, and the strike just really take it away from Nick Pope being able to make any kind of save. Like, I don't think he has any chance with that. the play leading up to it is really nice as well. Like Buendia is involved in the play. It's really nice, like one touch passing at times, like playing really nice triangles as well because they play it into Watkins, who plays it off to Buendia, who then gets the shot off, sort of thing. But there were like 6, 7 players had like involvement in that goal, so it's one of those that is like worked on in the training ground, the like all the sort of like tactics and stuff that they try to put in with attacking football. This was one of those goals that is like really came to fruition.
Yeah, 100%. And then, yeah, I mean, there wasn't much else I could pick out from the game. Like Newcastle kind of knocking at the door, but Villa still having their chances. But then Watkins just finishes it at the end with, yeah, a typical Ollie Watkins goal, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I think Villa threatened to take this away from Newcastle throughout. They had some really good chances. Watkins had probably 2 or 3 before the goal that he would have wanted to do better with. Like there's like sort of a couple of them that he takes a bad touch when he's like through on goal, sort of thing. So credit to Ollie Watkins for keeping it up, like keep it like knowing that the moment is gonna come. Like that is like the hallmark of great strikers when they have had maybe a frustrating game where things haven't quite worked out for them, knowing that opportunity is going to come for you. And I mean, I do think it's terrible defending to leave Ollie Watkins completely unmarked in the penalty area.
Yeah, but in
But
the last minute, it's kind of when
that's
you're
the thing
chasing
is
the lead,
like
isn't it?
you're chasing the game. I think you just took your eye off the ball there, Newcastle. But yeah, I mean, a good win, really good bounce back win for Villa because I can't remember what we predicted, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people would have had Villa going to St James's Park and probably being like, right, take a draw there, like that would have been a good point. But for them to put on a good display, get a win. I know Emery's not talking about a title challenge, but it keeps them neck and neck with City and right breathing down Arsenal's neck. So
Well, that's mad, isn't it? Because like they lose that Arsenal game, and you think it's all gone quiet on the title challenge, but quietly underneath it, they're still getting the points, they're still picking up wins, and they're still very much in it. So you never know, do you really, with Villa? I mean, you could maybe use the excuse for Newcastle midweek Champions League, but Villa had the same at the Europa League game, so can't really find any excuses for it. Just a bad couple of games for Newcastle, I'd say, with the it was 0-0 last week and then the loss this week. You gotta hope for them if they want any European football to find a bit more form soon.
yeah, yeah, inconsistent to say the least from Newcastle this season.
Yeah, cool. Okay, should we move on to Burnley to Spurs 2? This is definitely one. I don't think we saw this. No, we did see this one coming, didn't we? I thought Burnley might win this one from our
Yeah,
prediction.
I don't think either of us were backing Tottenham to win.
No, but still, it is a bit surprising when you see it, isn't it? But maybe it shouldn't be in these situations anymore. I think you owe an apology to Dubravka because he heard you last week, and
Oh, this was Dubravka at his best.
yeah, absolute shop-stopping masterclass from him throughout the game. There was
Hey, I wasn't that harsh on him, and I did say that he has games where he is excellent. Like he does. He's just I don't think they're consistent enough. But he was the best player on the pitch in this one.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he has a big double save quite early on in the game, and I think the first one's a good save, but then Conor Gallagher puts it pretty much down low to him, and he gets in the way of it as well. So keeping Burnley in it, but to be fair to Burnley, they had enough chances in this game to probably go away and win it. I mean, I think Spurs probably had the better of the first half and got a goal that they probably deserved from Van der Ven with a falling half volley. Like,
Yeah, I just think Burnley should have cleared this earlier.
yeah,
And
but
they just need to clear their lines, and then Van de Ven doesn't get that chance because I think there's like 2 or 3 opportunities for Burnley to get rid of that ball, and they don't quite get rid of it as they should.
yeah, I mean, it was coming really, wasn't it? I think Burnley were under a bit too much pressure in the first half. Their main outlet was Odegaard playing again. Oh no, that was fucking for Spurs. Odegaard having a couple of chances against his former club. But yeah, then at the end of the half, Zabi gets on the end of a good Carl Walker cross. Someone I've been shitting on a lot, Carl Walker this season. Fair enough, that was a great cross to put in. But who was meant to be marking him? Who was meant to be marking
Exactly.
Zabi? Like,
Like he's got acres of space in the box. It's so bad. Like the defending is awful. Like I, I, I don't know if you remember early in the season me saying that Axel Tuanzebe isn't a Premier League footballer. Like I still I still believe that, but good on him to get his first Premier League goal. But he absolutely gets gifted this by just like the Spurs, everyone just switching off, and he just taps it in.
Mate, I know we're going against what we say in the intro for the show, like saying the team had a bad. I don't think Tottenham had a bad day. I just think their defending was unbelievably bad in this game. Like, it's not just for this goal, even for the second one. It's there again. Like, where are the defenders? Like,
Oh, the second one is calamitous at times. Like Foster gets a chance, it comes back to him, and the Spurs defenders are just all falling over each other, and then Foster gets with his second bite of the apple, gets it, and it just it gets contact from Udogie, and then just trickles in over the line. It's just like clown car.
that's a goal you see it like five, maybe not even five side that you see like in a playground. I remember like those at school where it'd be like, oh yeah, it's come back to the same guys, come back to the same bar game, same, and he finally
And
threw
everyone's
it
just
away.
falling over each other
Yeah,
and like trying to make blocks, just throwing their body down.
yeah. But then I feel for Burnley in the end with Romero, another bullet header. Really, like it's quite similar to one he had against you guys, wasn't it? To make it 2-2.
Yeah, I mean it sucks for Burnley fans, but as for the team, I think they were sinking too deep and they were struggling to get out, and they were kind of like they were desperately holding on to a win rather than sort of when they did have chances to clear, they weren't maintaining possession very well. They were panicking a little bit and just kind of getting rid, and then Tottenham were building another attack sort of thing. So it was like it was almost bound to come. Like we both know, we've both watched our teams be very defensive at times, and towards the end of a game sink closer and closer towards their goal, and for the actual like the specific goal, like the all of the Burnley defenders sink towards the 6 yard box, and Romero kind of just drifts out a couple of yards further out just to give him enough space so that he's pretty much unchallenged to get the goal. And it's just one of those. It's really frustrating for Burnley fans who they probably did enough to come away with a win, but a point. Is it a good point with
I,
everyone above them picking up points?
that's the issue, isn't it? I mean, if you look at it on paper, I would at the beginning of the season, you're saying, "Oh, again, a point against Spurs." You're probably thinking, "Yeah, I'll take that all day long." But the way the form Spurs are in and how the rest of the weekend went, in honesty, it's not a loss. It's just not a loss. Like you got to take that. If you're in the bottom three, you got to be taking and respecting any point you get in anywhere in the Premier League. So I think,
Yeah, I mean, a 3 game spell for Burnley: 2-2 against Man U, 1-1 against Liverpool, 2-2 against Spurs. If you took the situation out of hand and just said we got 3 points out of those 3 games, you would probably be like, that's really good. Like for a promoted team to get those 3 points against like 3 tops, big 6 opposition, you would have, as a Burnley fan, you would have snapped your hand off. It's just obviously the situation. Points, draws aren't wins, and 2 teams above them both got wins. So it's there's a 10 point gap into safety for them now.
I do think it's that West Ham game is going to be their season defining game. It's going to be such a big one at Turf Moor as well, isn't it? So it's big. But I think that either kickstarts a comeback for them or that ends their season there, unfortunately. Burnley, maybe am I being over the top? I think if you do that and you're 10 points, well, say Forest are probably going to pick up 3 or something against us. You're going to be like, say, something like 13 points away from safety, and then your next nearest in the bottom 3 is going to be what, minimum 8 points clear of you. That's a big ask, isn't it?
In February as well. Like it's usually around, like I think like there's like the whole thing around bottom at Christmas, but I think the other 2 relegation spots mostly get sort of like slightly cemented a little bit from about February onwards. I think up until that point, you've always got the chance to go on an absolute charge. But once it gets to February, you start thinking, time's running out here. Like we're losing the opportunities, and from March, it's like, right, this is great escape kind of time if anyone is going to make a fist of getting out of there. So yeah, it's a good one to pinpoint. I think Burnley fans will definitely have their eye on that game.
Yeah, 100%. Cool. Okay, let's move on to another draw. Everton won, Leeds won the Monday night game. Yeah, it could result for both teams, would you say?
Oh, I mean, given the game state, I probably would say that Leeds, this is maybe slightly disappointing for Leeds because I think they were so good in the first half. They had chances to get a second. I think like the main one is that Dominic Calvert-Lewin smashing it against the post. If they get that second when they're capitalize on being the better team in that time, then I think this is a great result. Uh, so I think there's a slight disappointment, but yeah, if you zoomed out a little bit, then probably a point away at Everton is a good result for Leeds.
Yeah, I mean, from what I saw, they had an okay first half, but didn't really show up too much in the second half. And Everton kind of grew in confidence and got the goal from Barry with a lovely dinkish finish. Like, yeah, I couldn't really. I feel like it was a fair result after all for the game. It just felt like a bit of a dreary Monday night game to me, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think there's been a few of these Monday night football games that don't live up to the slot that they have on their own sort of thing. I think I'm not a fan of Monday night football, especially going to games. It's always a bit of a dreary affair sort of thing. So yeah, deaf to Monday night football. But yeah, like credit James Justin for getting the goal in the first half for Leeds. I think Everton were all over the place for this. Aronson really smart to leave it to Justin. What do you think there was a foul on Ndiaye in the build up? It's sort of like a strong barge, but
It's one of those where if it was given against me, I'd be raging, and well, those if it wasn't given for me, be pretty annoyed as well. It's like a 50-50 borderline one where it's just they're like, would I be complaining? Let's say if I was scoring a goal, I wouldn't be complaining about it. No, let's put it that way. I'd be like, yeah, that's never a foul. Yeah. What about you?
on real time I think it's a foul. And then I see the replays back and kind of go, it's maybe a bit soft.
You just want to keep Leeds closer to you. That's the only reason you're saying that.
100%. And so I was very happy that informed Barry gets a goal, gets Everton back on playing on level terms after a Trivela attempt that was probably an easy. It was a decent save from Darlow, but it was one I think you would expect him to make.
Yeah, but it's also like you need to be calming down with that Travella. Yeah, even before, but let's not be taking the piss now.
Yeah, yeah, and then he gets his foot on the goal, stabs it home, and then late on Gay hits the crossbar. But I definitely think this was a 1-1 game. A draw was fair result.
Yeah, that's all I can really talk about that game. Like I said, I was struggling to stay awake with watching it. If I'm being
Yeah,
honest.
just the last thing I'll say is Everton fans welcome back Inman and Die, absolutely much needed with the news that Grealish is going to be out for a while with an injury. So yeah, Ndiaye is going to need to step up even more than he has done.
Yeah, that Grealish one's quite bad, isn't it? Talk about him going back to City already. So yeah, it's got to feel for him a bit and feel for Everton. I mean, he didn't fizzle out, but it was a bit like, I think I was clearly expecting him to be doing everything at Everton from the beginning of the season, how he started it, and it seemed like the goal and assist return wasn't really there in the end. But he was still
Nah,
doing stuff
after
on
that
the pitch.
first few weeks where he was setting the league alight for Everton, he definitely struggled to keep that up. And that is someone who hasn't played a ton of football over the last year or so. So probably playing week in week out maybe took its toll on someone who's had injuries and stuff. So yeah, I mean they're definitely not going to be taking up that 50 mil buy option now.
Oh God, no, no, not at all. But cool. Okay. Well, we're moving on to Palace 1, Chelsea 3. Oh God, this is
Go for it.
Well, no, I'm not going to rant too much about it. I want to rant about Darren England, but I don't want that to take away that from like, there's no way we should have won this game. Like that Estevao is a very, very good player. I know he jumps on a mistake. Well, I think almost three mistakes from JD Cambo in this game, and I feel for a 19-year-old being put in there to fill in for Mark Gay. He's never going to be able to do it, but that Estevao for the first goal to take it from basically the halfway line, jump on a mistake, take it past Mitchell, who I'm not gonna lie, I was like, Mitchell's gonna have him all day long. It's fine. Like Mitchell kind of is good at taking a defender away from goal or putting a last ditch tackle in. But Westville didn't make him look silly, but just knew exactly what to do. Was cool, calm, and then put it through Henderson. Then I didn't have a head loss, but the women next to me at Palace had a head loss when the cameraman, I don't know if you've seen this before, came onto the pitch to be like filming him with the crowd in the background, and I was like, I've never seen that anywhere.
Oh, that's a thing that they announced that they could do from the start of this
Is
season,
it? Oh,
and yeah, so it's to be closer to like the NBA and NFL and stuff where they're like, oh, we've got much better player access, and it's just like so annoying because I was also annoyed by this exact same thing this weekend because West Ham posted some pictures on Instagram of like Somerville celebrating and Bowen celebrating, and they both had this one bald geezer with a big ass camera in front, like half in front of the picture, and I was like, this would have been a really sick picture if it wasn't for this dumbass bald geezer with a massive camera. And we can say that as two bald men. So
mate, that's just taken away from people that go into the games because then if a player's celebrating, there's just gonna be a cameraman in front. Okay, let's not have a head loss on that because I've got enough other stuff to head loss about.
the games. So
Yeah. Pedro won. I mean, he does well to get him behind, but once again, it feels like if Campbell's in his position, he's there. He can fucking stop Pedro getting him behind Richards like that. Then the handball, lost my head with that. Did completely lose my head with that when I was messaging you because Darren England goes. And to be fair, from the reports, I was effing and jeffing with Darren England on the way home, and I have hated him as a referee for years, and I think he's one of the worst in the Premier League. But I've also got to give him a lot of love because I believe he was the VAR for the FA Cup final where Henderson didn't get sent off. I think that's the case. I might be wrong. It's
so he owed like you
well,
guys owed him
no, no,
one.
no, no. That what he did for us in the final was what he owed us for many, many bad decisions before. But yeah, in this one, apparently he went over to the screen and he was like, I don't think it's a handball. But the geezer who is doing VAR, who's I think refed 4 Premier League games, was like, yeah, it's definitely a yellow, definitely a handball. You got to give the penalty. And then you look at it and it's like, well, it's hit him arm down by the side. It's not a pen. And then even to just be like, he comes onto the mic like, it was accidental, and all the Palace fans are like, yes, not a pen, but still a penalty. Just there, like, you put in a knife in, man. You fucking did it on purpose.
Yeah, that it was just a wrong call. Like I don't understand how a penalty can be handball, like an accidental handball. The ball's just booted at him. How often do we see that the ball booted by the attacking player, arm is by his body,
But it
it
also
hits him, and they never give it. They always like, well, yeah, the arm is by his body. It was kicked at him from close range.
no,
He's
but it
nothing he
also
can do.
hits JD Campbell's thigh and goes into the
Yeah,
as well, which is not meant to be a yellow. But yeah, there's that. And then Adam Wharton, he lets his frustrations out. Very stupid to do that on a yellow card, but can also come back to the Caicedo one in the first half where it's clear yellow first one, and I think it's a clear second yellow where he takes Wharton out. And it's just there, like, it's a double standard there, it felt like.
yeah. I mean, the first one was an orange card because Caicedo, like, he could have. I wouldn't have been shocked if he'd have been given a straight red for that challenge on Wharton, and then yeah, definitely how I don't know how he's not had a second yellow on the Sarfal. You won't hear any pushback from me on these complaints.
No, but then you go back to Darren England when Caicedo's getting up from that, he's like laughing and joking with him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, just don't do that again." And then when he's Wharton, he's got his red card out of his pocket before he's even looked at Wharton. It's just they're like, that's mad, man. But I don't. Those aren't excuses. We did not deserve to win this game. And what happens with what I'm not even going to talk about the Richards goal. Scrappy as shit. I'm not going to lie.
Hey, he got a goal in his 100th game for Palace.
Great,
At least
fantastic.
give him that.
I'm not going to lie to you. I don't leave games early, but I needed to be home, and I left this game with 10 minutes to go because
I was going to say I'm shocked you didn't leave this game after the red card.
yeah, well, me and my mum wanted to leave after the penalty decision and the goal. Well, we wanted to leave before the penalty was even fucking given because we're like, this isn't football anymore. That's what the Homesdale were chanting. But it was one of those where exactly what I said about Glasner firebombing the season and causing divisions in Palace fans has happened. There were fans fighting in the Homesdale. I don't know if it was fans on fans or fans on security, but it's just this bad atmosphere is there now. And Glasner in his post-match comments is like, "Oh yeah, the players just need confidence," and it's like you can't say that, mate, because you just took all the confidence fucking out of them. It's just like what he needs to go now. Like, yeah, we may get something against Forest, or we have yes, we have easier games coming up, but he needs to go because he's created this awful atmosphere at the club, and there's factions in the fans. Like I knew there would be. You can feel it on the concourse just going through. You're almost scared to say anything about like the whole situation because you know there's going to be a complete polar opposite like feeling to you within the stands. And I hate going to Palace games and feeling like that. It's what felt like when Roy was there, where I would back Roy because he had done so much for the club, but so many people wanted rid of him because it was like old dinosaur football. Now the polarization is, oh, Glasner's a prick, oh, Parish is a prick, and there's no one on the side that can see like both of them have fucked up the situation for everyone. I mean, is it a minority? It doesn't feel like a minority. It feels like it's just an awful underlying feeling. But you do have them. I want to say you have the majority of Palace fans backing the team and wanted to back the team. But when that second goal goes in, it's silent at first, and you just feel like all these bad things that have been like underlining, I guess, for years because we know the problems with us buying players. We know the problems that the hierarchy have made mistakes with the Europa League, like and everything like that. And it's not nice. It's not going to be a nice end to the season. We really need to win that Forest game. And I think if we win that Forest game, we can kind of box off our season a bit. Whereas if we don't, then we're in a relegation battle. And I don't think Glasner's up for a relegation battle. I don't think you can have a manager who's firebombed the club and said he's leaving at the end of the season in charge of a team in a relegation battle because that's just leading to one place. Do you know what I mean?
Bring in Sam Allardyce,
I'll
Crystal Palace manager for the rest of the season.
I'll bring in Sam. I remember Sam when he tried to play 5 at the back and we were 4-0 down to Sunderland in the first half. Then I did leave at half-time that game. I left at half-time, I kicked the Wolves on the way out. I got back to my nan's house with my mum and I was like, that's it, I'm putting all my Palace stuff in a box, I'm putting it in the attic, and I'm never watching Palace again because I was so angry.
Oh, you're so melodramatic. I honestly forgot that he managed you. He's managed so many teams.
He had one
I was like,
mate, it was after that game though, it all turned around and we went on a run of beating Chelsea at Liverpool. And yeah, it kept us up by the skin of our teeth. But yeah, mini rant there. I don't want to. Hopefully, I'm not ranting next week because there's been more Palace circus shit going on. But yeah,
oh, I hope you are.
Yeah, no way we deserve to win this game. Chelsea were much better than I expected. But yeah, bullshit things have happened, and I'm very much annoyed at Glasner and the club hierarchy with what they've done with a season that should have been so much more. Should have been a season we could have kicked on. But it's just the Palace thing we do. We get these chances and we fuck them. We fucked it in 1990, fucked it with the team of the 80s, and we fucked it again here. But yeah.
Rant over. Last game to touch on is Man City 2, Wolves 0. Not a lot in this one, I think. Wolves really only sort of came to life once they were 2-0 down. I thought they created some decent chances at that point, but it was against a City team who almost sort of felt like they took their foot off the gas then.
Yeah, I mean, Wolves' good run comes to an end. It's just your typical low team at the bottom of the table going to City. Game's kind of over as soon as the first goal goes in. Main talking point was kind of the no penalty for the handball.
Well, I was going to say, remember a few weeks ago you asked if I was critical of Mosquera, the Wolves defender, and I actually think he was quite soft for the first goal, and then I was quite surprised that they didn't give a penalty against Mosquera after a VAR review.
It's complete. I don't want to go back onto the Palace game and more ranted, but it's just the complete opposite of what happened in the Palace situation for it.
It was so much more of a handball than the Palace one ever was.
What is happening? But yeah, I mean, yeah, you're not expecting much from Wolves going away there. I mean, Wolves did cause some problems by putting balls into the box, but Donnarumma just seemed to deal with them by chucking his massive frame in it all the fucking time. I don't think he looked confident in it, but I just think because there's so much of it, it feels like, yeah, that'll get rid of the ball and players. But
yeah.
Fingers crossed Mark Gahey and Semenyo stop Arsenal from winning the league. That's all I can say. Cool. Okay. Yeah, we've gone pretty long. Should we just smash through our predictions for next week?
Yeah, let's run through them.
Yeah, well done if you've stuck with us this whole episode with the West Ham deep dive and the Palace rant. But yeah, cool. Okay, start of the weekend. No early kickoff Saturday. We've got Brighton, Everton, 3:00.
Ooh, 2-1 Brighton.
Yeah, I feel like 1-0 Brighton. I feel they're going to be able to win and run in the Amex, especially with us coming down there next. Leeds Arsenal at Ellen Road. Oh, if this was a late kickoff, I would have Leeds all over this. I think Ellen Road under the lights against Arsenal. I would go for a 2-1 or Desmond, but I think 3 o'clock Arsenal probably scrape it 2-1.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal as well.
Yeah, Wolves, Bournemouth. That's a hard one for me. It probably shouldn't be hard. It might just be 3-1 Bournemouth, but for some reason I think if Wolves can get the first goal against Bournemouth, I feel like it's goals for Wolves to have there. Or my
Oh no, I mean we've said it all season long. Bournemouth can't defend, so I'm honestly looking down the list and going, this might be my weekly Desmond 2-2.
Nice. Cool. 5:30 kickoff. Chelsea West Ham. I want to say 4-0 Chelsea because they were quite good against us, but I think this is going to be the day that you realise it's going to be okay and you get a 2-0 win at Stamford Bridge.
You're just trying to jinx me. We're not going to win this one. But we'll give it a fight. I'm going to go 2-1 to Chelsea, unfortunately.
Nice. Cool. Then the late kickoff, Liverpool Newcastle. I think people are probably going to expect this to be a classic, but I've got a 0-0 on this. I don't know why.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm going to go 1-1.
Yeah, I feel like people are expecting a 4-3, and I'm not seeing too many goals in that for some reason. Then let's move on to Sunday games, 2 o'clock kickoffs. Villa, Brentford. I mean, it's got to be a Villa win, hasn't it? I'm going to go 2-0.
Yeah, Brentford away after how bad they performed at home last week. I can't put anything past Villa. Yeah, I'm going to go 3-1 Villa.
Ooh. United, Fulham at Old Trafford. I'm going to go for a 2-2 here. I think both teams are kind of in form now. I don't really want to see Fulham's good form come to an end, so I'm going to go 2-2.
Yeah, I think United might just edge this again, 3-2.
Forest, Palace. I'm dreading this game. I'm going to go 1-1. If we walk away with 1-1, I'll be happy.
I don't know who I want to win this. This is a real dilemma. I'm going to pray for a draw, loads of red cards, loads of injuries, but entertaining one for you at least. So I'm going to double up Desmond 2-2.
Don't know where we're going to score 2 goals from, but okay. Monday night, Sunderland, Burnley. I feel this is going to be a drab one as well. I mean, I think Burnley might just turn up in Sunderland light and try and get away with a point, and I think they'll do it, and it'll be 0-0.
I'm going to go 1-0 Sunderland. They keep the home record going, but not a particularly fun affair for the neutral.
Yeah, cool. Okay, that's it for this week. Feel free to rate and review the pod and tell your friends. And feel free to follow us on socials at Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Reddit at Other14FC Podcast, or email in at other14podcast@gmail.com. Hopefully we won't have too many technical difficulties next week, or you won't be able to notice this week. But yeah, otherwise catch you on the other side.
Cheers.